I just now I refer to the point that we need a strong will, not only to get what we want to get in life, we also need a strong will to face the shocking tragedies of it. Is it not? No, in 2011, there was one girl. This girl, she was a volleyball player, she was a champion who used to play at the national level. And one day she was traveling from Lucknow to Delhi. And the girl was traveling along the train from Lucknow to Delhi. She was going for a job interview there. And in the train, she was alone. A few miscreants, they entered the compartment. And she was alone. Others were there, but she was traveling alone. But she was having a golden chain. So these miscreants, they started misbehaving with this girl. This girl was a bold person. And when they tried to snatch her chain, golden chain, she protested. She protested, and actually the protest turned into a scuffle. And in that scuffle, these miscreants, 4 or 5 of them, what they did was, they threw this girl outside the running train. The girl fell on the other side of the track, on the track. There were several fractures on her body. And her one leg was lying on one of the rails, and her main body was in between the 2 rails, whereas one leg was on one of the rails. But she was unable to move because it was a very fatal fall from the running train. Just imagine. And she was just unable to move, almost in a semi-conscious state, screaming and weeping. A train comes, and her one leg is cut off. Now this girl lies in that position whole night. According to the records, 49 trains ran up and down over her body. Till the morning, she didn't get any help from anyone. She was lying there screaming, the blood was oozing, and there was absolutely no chance of any help because it was just a dark, completely dark. It was a village area. No one would be there on the track at that time. So early in the morning, some villagers, they saw this girl lying there, and in a very bad shape. They picked up the girl and they took her to the hospital there, nearby hospital, and that was a very local hospital with no facilities for any surgery, operation, no oxygen, no blood, no doctors to administer anesthesia, nothing. So in that situation, she said, already the leg was cut, but gangrene had set in. So the leg had to be, the gangrene portion had to be cut completely. For that, she actually asked them to go ahead without anesthesia, and she got that remaining portion of the leg cut. From there, she was shifted to the AIMS in Delhi because she was a very good sports person and she was well known to the sports minister. When the sports minister came to know about it, immediately he made the arrangements for her treatment. So she was shifted to the Delhi AIMS, and then she got treated. Nearly for 3-4 months she was there in the hospital. And in that condition, when she was in the hospital, she was thinking, my sports career is gone. She was a national champion in volleyball. So she was thinking, from now onwards I cannot play sports. I cannot shine in this field. So what am I going to do? She thinks, I will climb Mount Everest. This girl with one leg, she says, I am going to climb Mount Everest. Everybody started making fun of her. Are you a mad person? You don't have one leg. Even normal persons like us, normal healthy persons don't dare to scale a few steps. To climb 2 floors, we need a lift. Even to climb a small hillock, we don't have the guts. And you, with one leg, you talk about going to Mount Everest. Yes, I'm going to do that. But she got her help and support from her elder brother. And then, after being discharged, when she was discharged from the hospital, instead of going home, straight away she goes to a mountaineering institution in Rajasthan and meets somebody there who is known to her. And she also initially, she discourages. And but finally, seeing her confidence and determination, she also comes forward to help to lend a helping hand to her. And finally, she begins her training. She was given an artificial limb. With that artificial limb, she was initially trained to walk a few steps, then to scale a few stairs. Then she was slowly trained to scale small hillocks. So from 2011 to 2013, 2 years, she underwent this kind of a training of slowly walking in more and more difficult terrains. Finally, in 2013, she reaches the base camp of Mount Everest. And from there, in 2013, she scales Mount Everest to become the first girl, the first woman in the world to do that with one leg and one artificial leg. The story is not complete. The point is, when she was in the hospital, she was all the while reading Vivekananda's books. And when she was going to the Mount Everest, she had Vivekananda's photo in her pocket. And every now and then, when her artificial limb would come out, it would bleed. In that situation, she would take out Swamiji's picture, look at her picture, derive immense strength from that, keep it back. Again, she would go. And that bit by this girl, in that group, when everybody was discouraging her, no, don't go ahead, you can't. Just imagine climbing Mount Everest with one leg. Can we dare to even imagine? This girl with somebody's picture in her pocket, every now and then she takes it out, looks at that picture, derives strength, keeps it inside, goes in. Finally, she reaches the Mount Everest, she hoists the Indian flag, and she keeps Swami Vivekananda's picture there on the peak of Mount Everest. And this happened in 2013. The coincidence is that that was the year when we were celebrating the 150th birth anniversary of this great soul. Friends, we were talking about the development of a strong will. What was the secret of this person's success? A woman, first of all, we have a tendency to underestimate the capability of women. This is the demonstration of women's power. Firstly, about which Swamiji had very clearly spoken. In the modern age, it is going to be the age of women and women's power. What a woman can do. Even a man cannot do this. Second, how could she do that? Willpower. Tremendous willpower. What is that willpower? The capacity to do things which you are supposed to do, and the capacity to avoid doing things which you are not supposed to do. This girl had trained herself in that, avoiding many things which she should not be indulging in. She could have spent her time watching movies and TVs and thinking that it's not possible for me to go to Mount Everest. She would have done that. She led a life completely dedicated to one idea, that I am going to scale the peak of Everest. This is what I said. Mind's capacity to do things which we are supposed to do and avoid doing things which we are not supposed to do. This is what actually makes her a strong will. She had developed this kind of a will, and she had this. Friends, it was really a great, inspiring gathering for me, myself, to tell all these things. Myself, I am very, very inspired when I think and we think about these things. It's a lesson for me also. It's not that I have told these things to you. Myself, I have been constantly struggling to improve myself in this sense. And I really hope that you people are going to make this Swami Vivekananda's dream come true. It is a responsibility on all of us. You see, we all are carrying the ignominy of being known as the most corrupt country in the world, and this ignominy is there on our foreheads. Let us not forget this point. And we are responsible to remove this ignominy. And each one of you have to do that. And how are we going to do that? By building our character. Never succumbing to temptations. By doing things which we are supposed to do, and by avoiding doing things which we are not supposed to do. Friends, if you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you. Really good question, because when we talk about willpower, actually the very center of this whole problem is actually ego. The ego always wants to assert itself. This is a normal. That's why it's a, what is this will? Will is that actually which propels us, which impels us, which pushes us ahead to do something. But behind this will is our ego. Our ego wants to attain something. That's a basic thing. Now, if you really pose some basic questions, as you said, the main problem is problem of the ego. First of all, the main problem is our wrong understanding about our ego. We have, all of us, we have a totally wrong notion about who we are. It is this wrong notion which is pushing us ahead into this world with the belief that by attaining something outside, you are going to be happy, you are going to be fulfilled, you are going to be satisfied. This is the belief system which guides us in this one, is it not? So the root problem is the problem of the ego. The I factor. Everybody, this I factor is there. But we really don't know what is the true meaning of this I. What you said is true. You can go one step behind the will and focus on the I factor itself. There lies the true solution. So I have not posed that subject, and I don't expect also to most of us to go that deep, because that would be too much. But at least to be a good citizens of the country, that becomes purely spiritual subject. To understand the true dimension of I, of who I am, that becomes a very central subject of all spiritual literature and Vedanta and all those things. So, without going into that depth, I would rather focus on the question of being good citizens. All of us. Let the I be there, and let the I assert outside. No problem. But assertion in the right direction. If the direction is wrong, our life is going to go in the wrong direction. That's it. You have covered the whole ground. Social service, moksha, career. What is left?
And God. God.
The thing is that when you talk about moksha, then everything is included in that. And you won't be running after your career business and all those things. But anyway, it all depends upon where we stand. And we have to look into this problem from where we stand. Let us be very sincere about it. All of us cannot straight away think about moksha. But it's good to know it. Even when you are pursuing a career, even when you are going for a job interview, know that, yes, you may get a good job, a good packet at the month, at the end of the month, it's fine. But know that all these things are just for the time being, expansion. And Swami Vivekananda's wonderful wordings of my mind. He is writing to the Maharaja of Mysore. He writes, he says, you see, my dear friends, this life is short, and the vanities of this world are transient. They alone live who live for others, rest are more dead than alive. Understand? He is writing this to the Mysore Maharaja. He says, my dear prince, know that this life is short. Very short, friends, very short. It's very short. Things would just go like this. It's all over. And the vanities of this world are transient. Your career, your job, your money, your enjoyment, everything is transient. Even your relationships. It's all transient. They alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. I think this should take care of the answer. Whether you should be focusing on career, that sense, what should be the emphasis? Living for the good of others, or living selfishly for one's own gains, or living for moksha. You should know where you're standing, and from there you have to look ahead and go ahead. You're ready for moksha? Well, pursue it. That is the ultimate goal of human life. Human birth is meant for that. But if you're not ready for that, go for a career, good career, but use that career for the good of others. Don't live selfishly. That's it.
Willpower? Yes. Yeah.
Not true satisfaction.
Yeah.
Because satisfaction will make you strong. Satisfaction comes not from indulgence, but from self-restraint. You see this? This is a lesson to learn, friends. True satisfaction comes not from indulgence, by self-restraint. Why? Secret is, Secret of satisfaction is not in the things which we enjoy outside. Let that thing be anything. It can be anything. It includes everything. Satisfaction doesn't lie in the enjoyment of things outside. Satisfaction and sense of fulfillment actually comes from inside. If we understand the trick of straightaway coming in touch with the infinite reserve of happiness inside, that is what is the true direction. And that kind of a satisfaction comes from a strong will, a will which teaches you to restrain yourself from indulgences outside. Understand? So that kind of a will is a very strong will. A will which succumbs to every other temptation. It's a big will. Actually, we are making friendship with the lower forces. As long as we make friendship with the lower forces of this life, we are never going to have a strong will. A strong will means stop making friendship with the lower nature of human personality.
Swamiji, excuse me.
I want to ask a question that you said about the brahmacharya life. Okay. So, is it necessary to live a brahmacharya life? And if it is so, then what is the way to do that?
The way to
do that? Okay.
See, this subject is a very vast subject, and the way to do that, it involves great demands. As I said, the practice of brahmacharya can be understood in different ways. I don't say that anybody has to practice an absolute brahmacharya. No, that's not meant for all. That's not meant for all. But at least remember one point. We should be respecting our reproductive forces. This reproductive force that we have in all of us is meant for a certain purpose. And if this is squandered, if this force is scattered meaninglessly in wrong indulgences, it can cause serious damage to your personality. You will remain a weak person, perhaps maybe enjoying things, but it weakens our personality. And on the contrary, if you utilize this reproductive force in a judicious manner, what is the judicious manner? You know, I don't want to go into the details of that. You can have the pleasures of life, very fine. We all have to go through that. It's fine. There's no harm in that. But even in that also, there has to be some amount of restraint and some amount of sanity. Let us not be like animals. There has to be some amount of sanity. And when that is there, you will see slowly, you will be strengthening your personality. I hope it's clear.
That she took pain and she was like fabulous with food, whoever is, and with one leg. But with that, did she help anybody else, or it was just for herself? You know, in spite of with that, if she had done something that helped a lot of other people, will that be more successful, or the one she did that act of going to Everest, did that make anybody else benefit from that?
I understand your question. Actually, what you want to say is that the success itself has got certain ways to look upon. So, what success exactly is? In that incident, what I was focusing upon was a person's determination. And one pointed is, given in such an odd situation, just look at the oddities which she was facing. Just one limb, that too a female. That's one point. So that shows that how the soul can bounce back to the mainstream of life even when she is struck with a shocking tragedy. So that's a great success. In her place, anybody else would have been completely broken. She would have been depressed for life. She would have been mentally imbalanced. So that would have been a failure of life. So in that sense, it was a great success. So another meaning of success is that what a higher meaning of success. When a person succeeds in understanding or solving the mysteries of one's own personality, and through that lives a life which is meant for the good of others. Actually, that is what the true meaning of success of the human life. Human life doesn't become success just by earning money or getting social position, honor. You make a mark, you make a difference in society, by your profession, professional abilities, it's all fine. But as long as we have not solved the basic mystery of our own identity and personality, our life is going to remain incomplete and unfulfilled. The true success is that, because that is what is going to give us true happiness. As I said before, what is that we are actually running after? You all have come here to this wonderful institution. Tell me, what is the basic idea? Go out to this institution, have a most prestigious certificate in your hand, the certificate of IIT Kharagpur, which has got the highest value outside in the market, which will fetch you a good job, best job perhaps. And you believe that that best job is going to give you a big packet of money every month. With that money, you are going to have all the good things of life, all the pleasures, the honor, the respect. All these things are going to make you happy and satisfied. Is this not the belief system which guides you to take this kind of a course of action? And this is what actually we teach our children. We teach our children to believe in this kind of lifestyle. We make them believe that happiness lies in things outside. This kind of a pursuit which ends up, perhaps in some of your cases, you all will be attaining good jobs, you will be having everything, perhaps a good life partner, and everything else. But yet, happiness doesn't will elude. Happiness is a very elusive entity. It doesn't come into our hands. We keep on chasing it. Fulfillment, it never comes. We keep on enjoying pleasures of life, and yet happiness and satisfaction, they keep on eluding our grasp and grip. So where lies true happiness? If we are really teaching our children to be happy, we should tell our children, just go to school, everything. Go to school for gaining knowledge. Don't worry about the career knowledge. Knowledge. There's nothing more sacred than knowledge. Knowledge is the greatest thing in this human brain. Knowledge. Nothing is greater than knowledge. Knowledge is greater than even happiness. Knowledge of everything. And the highest kind of knowledge is self-knowledge. When we have the self-knowledge, we will be having the true kind of happiness. The self-knowledge doesn't come by chasing the things outside. It comes by having the right understanding for who we are. So you see, success has got different explanations. Success can be taken from different standpoints. That girl was successful in a certain sense. How this is just a recent incident. What she is going to do in the future, that's
like if a human lives a normal human life, like a parent is satisfied by completing all the needs of his child, a teacher is satisfied by imparting every kind of education he can give to the students, his pupils. So is this way of life where you live beautifully is enough for a person's spiritual endeavors, or maybe like we need to think about it more?
This is not actually complete, but this is very important. To have a good life with your family members, with your elders, with your parents, to be in good terms. Of course, I would not say, even this subject can be understood from different standpoints. If you are a person who is very much bent upon living a very high kind of a life, and perhaps your parents may not be wanting that. Your parents depends upon what is the value system which they have been following. If that is a conflict between the value system between what your parents have been following and what you have been, definitely that is going to be a problem. So, as I told you before, the main thing is what is the philosophy that is guiding, that should be guiding you in your actions, in your relationship with your parents also. But basically, it is always advisable and it is always good. We should be very respectful to our parents. After all, we owe so many things to them. But if they say, they want you to go in the wrong direction, definitely that is going to be a conflict. If you want to go in the direction of some high principles shown by these great masters, obviously that will ensue some conflicts and these things. So it is, in one way, it is not sufficient to be just goody-goody, as we say, just to be goody-goody is not sufficient. You have to be goody in a true sense. What do you mean by goody in a good sense? Is that goodness which will take you to the higher dimension of human life. And anything which stands on the path of that can be set aside. As I said, when you begin to work about this self-development, you will have to face stiff oppositions. And these oppositions can be from your parents also, society, friends. So you will have to face them.
Is it action or the determination that you are being constantly speaking about? Is it everything, or see, we have people who are, there are lakhs and lakhs of people in India who are continuously competing in a competition. Is it that will, hard power is everything, or there is some amount of that we say, people say, some say God, or some say some power, destiny, whatever is named. I just want to know your views about this concept, because it's all centered about will. I wanted to know about this, about destiny or some power, something like it is different.
I very well appreciate this question because it is very obvious, because this is one thing, especially we Indians, we all have the faith in destiny. We all believe in that. But the thing is that we have a very wrong notion about destiny. We think that destiny means what? Somebody has fixed everything for ourselves. That somebody is nobody else, but we are ourselves. What you are today, it is only because what you chose to be in the past. This is what is the meaning of destiny. You understand? What you were in the past, the choices which you have made in the past, those choices have become your present. And what you are going to be in the future is going to be the outcome of what you are going to choose now. This is all that is the meaning of destiny. So the whole focus should be on hard work, but at the same time, you should know that there is one almighty power above all of this. It is that power which is actually working in and through us. We should practice and we should learn to draw inspiration, strength, and motivation from that almighty source. This is what will make your assertions and your strivings more meaningful, and it will be on the right track. So destiny means nothing else. It is not that somebody is sitting above the cloud and deciding what is going to be your future. He has written some Chitragut is he has written the whole accounts. All his accounts is with him. No such thing. You are the account. You are the accountant. You are the person who are responsible for what you are now, and you are the person who will be responsible for what you are going to be in future.